Right, you ready?
You go on.
I'm holding back here as well because I was so angry after the last game.
Right.
I was angry at the performance, and then I got even more angry when I heard Gareth Southgate say that we still haven't replaced Calvin Phillips. And I got angry for a couple of reasons. Well, 3, right? No disrespect to Calvin Phillips, but...
Yeah, he's miles off it.
He's miles off it.
Yeah,
right?
He is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, alarm bells were ringing when I hear a manager talk about a player that we all know doesn't really make a difference. Yet to the manager, he obviously does. I'm like, oh, what are you seeing that we're not? And what are we seeing that you're not? That's the worry. And then thirdly, I thought, well, pick him then. You've made that call not to pick. I wouldn't pick him. You wouldn't pick him, right? But no.
Yeah.
No, but he's not fit.
No.
Right? And he's not good enough. But what are you moaning about? Pick him, right? Don't pick him, is what I'm saying. But don't moan about a player you decided not to bring, is what I am saying. I looked at that England performance, and we've heard from Rio Ferdinand saying it was lacklustre, Gary Lineker slagging them off and so on, okay? And we'll talk about, and I'll get your view on whether or not Gary Lineker and other people that work in the media are right to have a pop at you. And I'll talk about that in a minute. We said it before the tournament started about what Gareth Southgate would do with that starting 11. The majority of people that are England fans that know the players that we've got to choose from, the majority of them that know their football will play Rice, Bellingham and Foden. You play Bellingham because he smashed it in Spain. He's an unbelievable talent. Could win if we win the Euros, he might win Ballon d'Or because he won the Champions League, won the La Liga, etc. Right? He might. Mm-hmm. But either way, he's an unbelievable player.
He is.
Declan Rice has, I think, made the difference between Arsenal
being very close, potentially winning it.
So we know Declan's a brilliant player as well. Phil Foden voted,
genius
player of the season in that in the Man City team. He's pulling the strings. Okay, those 3 have to start for England. The middle 3 have to, and you can put Bellingham just behind Foden and it will still work. We all know that. He's a good enough player. Putting Phil Foden, who's an unbelievable number 10 on the left, is utterly meaningless and pointless. You might as well put Harry Kane on the left. Harry Kane's playing out of position. What's the point of playing him on the left? Play him in his natural position.
Yeah.
Why the England manager can't see that is the biggest worry to me, more so than suggesting we haven't replaced Calvin Phillips. Okay? On top of that, Anthony Gordon had a brilliant season for Newcastle. Not been played. Cole Palmer, exceptional talent, not been played.
But wait, you can't play them all.
No, you can't. But if things aren't going right, you bring on these players to change things, right? If you think you can't replace Calvin Phillips, you have brought Kobbie Manu, you have brought Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
Give them a chance. By picking the exact same team and swapping Trent for Conor Gallagher stinks to me of a manager that is utterly clueless about tactics. Utterly clueless.
I think...
Because no one in this building, no England fan, will ever look at the last performance and go, you know how we can improve? No disrespect. You know, we'll keep Foden out of position and we'll bring in Conor Gallagher. That won't make us any better.
Well, right. Look, you're entitled to your opinion, and you're entitled to have a strong opinion. That's what we want, and we're going to go to the lines in a minute. We've got lots of people waiting to do that. I wouldn't play Conor Gallagher. I think when I look at the England team, the strengths is all in the forward positions. The weaknesses are perhaps when a game goes in the balance, as we've seen a couple of times now, when all of a sudden England aren't dominating the ball, they look a little vulnerable. But you know what? The best teams, when they win competitions, the best teams have those moments in a match when you're watching it and you're thinking, Real Madrid, right? Whenever they win the Champions League, we see in matches where the game's now in the balance. The game could go either way. But it's Vinicius Junior and it's all those great forward players that they've had, Bellingham, that seemingly get in there and make the difference. To me, England will win this competition, could still win this competition if they trust those brilliant players in those forward positions. It's too much going on with regards to insurance in the middle of the park and at the back. You got to trust Mark Gahey as a young England player to be good enough to step up and stand up and produce when it matters. You got to ask John Stones to lead rather than being led like he does perhaps at City. You got to ask Kyle Walker to be that rampaging right back, the quickest thing in Germany right now, quicker than a Porsche and a BMW in the car park. Get him bombing down that right-hand side with Bukayo Saka. You got to say to Kieran Trippier, look, you're playing left back. Don't stop you from going over the halfway line. Haven't seen him over the halfway line yet. get shifted, get moving, play with some real dynamism. I think if England do that, they have got so much going for them.
But don't you think the tactics or lack of them? Well, here's my problem. We get a 1-0 lead.
Do you honestly think Gareth says to the lads, score lads, and drop off and sit off?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
You don't say that,
100%. Because the flip side of that is a team like Man City that attack unbelievably well, right?
Yeah.
That's down to one person, the manager. A team that doesn't play well is down to one person, the manager. But the fact that we got to the final of the Euros, scored in the first 3 minutes, I think, against Italy, and sat back and couldn't get the second goal, that cost us. The decisions he made with regards to substitutions or lack of in the final third of that match cost us. We've seen it before. When England get a 1-0 lead, they hang on for dear life. We make changes. Like that, we make changes that are so defensive, it almost invites the opposition on to try and score. Why don't we bring attacking players on, search for the second goal, let them worry about us attacking, and that will give us maybe a little bit more room in the middle of the park rather than invite them on. Harry Kane was playing so deep, he gets the ball just outside his own penalty area and looks up for Harry Kane. But there's no one there.
It's not every time that's the manager's tactics.
It is.
Eric Ten Hag, weren't his tactics when you beat Coventry in the semi-final of the FA Cup, weren't his tactics to give every United fan an heart attack?
But when we beat Man City in the final, it was play with a false number 9 with Bruno down the middle. That was down to him.
Yeah, that was brilliant. But what I'm saying is, you beat Coventry, right? But you didn't do it very well, very convincingly.
No, but the difference
he didn't ask you to not do that.
The difference is that Man United have had an awful season with injuries. He's got his full strength side out. He can't, apart from Calvin Phillips missing, and we haven't replaced him.
And I'm
so angry when he said that.
I'm not agreeing with a lot of what you're saying.
Why?
And listen, I'm not disagreeing. Sorry, I beg your pardon, with a lot of what you're saying. But what I do disagree with is that the manager is asking his teams to get in front in a game, and then rather than go and really win it and boss it.
But his substitutions are making that happen.
But as soon as the England team score a goal, they shouldn't as players. They fully understand that one is never enough in top flight football. You've got to go and try and get a bit more.
There was one game, I think it was the first game, right?
Yeah.
Where, I might get this wrong, I hope I don't, where he took Bellingham off and put Kobbie Mainoo on and played Kobbie Mainoo as basically a 10 and left Phil Foden out on the left. If you're taking Bellingham off, bring Foden back and then put Gordon on the left. I mean, things that I'm not an England manager. I know it, you know it. They, in there behind the glass, know it, and all the millions listening to this know it. Why does the England manager not know it?
Well, look, and all I would say to you is at the moment, and there have been previous incarnations of an England team that have gone to tournaments and haven't been particularly convincing in the early stages and get better. This team may develop into something else. Is it fact that Conor Gallagher, I mean, that's always interesting.
As good as.
Is it as good as? He's definitely going to go in there tomorrow, right? Fair dues. Listen, he's as honest as the day's long and can... I personally just don't see why you can't say to Jude Bellingham, listen, Jude, when we go out of possession, need you to get back 10 yards a little bit deeper, look for Deck, see what's happening in there, make sure that's right, leave Phil just that little bit further in front of you, and then when we get it, find him. I think England would be so much better playing that way in the middle of the park.
Imagine this scenario, because this is what's happened. Imagine this scenario. You go up to Gareth Southgate. Hi, Gareth, we're going to make you midfield, okay? I'm going to give you Declan Rice. I'm going to give you Jude Bellingham. You got one more. You can either put Phil Foden in there or Conor Gallagher. He's chosen Gallagher over Foden. That is frightening. That's frightening.
Yeah, but you'll see where and we'll see how much Phil Foden can roam along that position.
Play him in the 10.
I can't dispute what you're saying because that's where I'd play him.
Let's go to the phone lines 0371 722 334. Liam's first up. Hi, Liam.
Morning, afternoon, boys. You all right?
I'm good. I'm very well.
Hello, Liam.
I'm angry, Liam. I'm angry.
Andy, I couldn't agree with you more, mate, to be honest. I can't even say anything else to add to anything you've said. It's just putting Conor Gallagher so uninspiring. He had 35 minutes both games and didn't do anything at all. So it's not going to change. He's part of the problem from the previous two games. He's not a solution at all.
No, Liam, look, you make a fair observation. I don't think there'd be too many people coming on, Andy, to say that they absolutely think it's 100% the right call to go down this particular road. From what I've seen, on the back of what I've seen, half an hour excellent in the first game against Serbia, and then against The Danes, it was so disjointed, it looked lifeless, and it lacked any dynamism. I keep using that word because that's what it lacked.
You know, if we don't win tomorrow night, we finish second, chances are.
Which means?
Germany in the last 16.
But do you not think England can beat Germany? Because I don't think Germany are that unbelievable.
I don't think we could beat an egg at the moment.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?